Sexual assault involves crimes where offenders subject victims to any unwanted or offensive sexual contact. It is considered a form of sexual violence. This is an umbrella term that encompasses sexual abuse, sexual assault, and rape. Survivors of sexual assault may experience a variety of health issues after their sexual assault. Common after effects include loss of appetite, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suicidal thoughts. The reason college women may decide not to report assaults include embarrassment or fear that it will happen again. In a majority of cases, the perpetrator is either a family member, acquaintance, or someone the victim knows. Statistically, 19.5% of rape cases are committed by a stranger. If a survivor knows the person who assaulted them, they may decide not to report the act of violence for many reasons, such as fearing for their safety or worrying about reprisals from their social circle.
Sexual assault on the nation's college campuses have been receiving a lot more attention recently. Also, sexual assault is widely considered to be the most underreported violent crime in the U.S. Most sexual assaults on the campus are committed by an acquaintance of the victim, which may be very surprising to many. Except, it kind of explains why these crimes are so underreported. Just under 3% of all college women become victims of rape, either completed or at least attempted, in a span of 9-month academic year. At first glance, the risk seems low, but the percentage translates into the disturbing figures of 35 such crimes for every 1,000 women students. For a campus with 10,000 women, the number could reach 350. Students who are sexually assaulted are most likely to tell their friends first. And for this reason, it makes perfect sense for schools to have to train students, teachers, faculty, and staff to deal with someone, he or she, dealing with sexual assault. Administrators want their campuses to be safe havens for students as they pursue their education and mature intellectually and socially. Although these institutions of higher educations are by no means crime-free, women students face a higher risk of sexual assault, but it does not take away from the fact that men do too. Overall, it says about only 4 in 10 schools offer any sexual assault training. The small proportion of sexual assault victims who have reported their offense to authorities attest to the existence of multiple reporting barriers. When the school adopts sexual assault response policies, their goal is to protect victims and not for it obviously to happen, but this is for the general student population. When schools adopt sexual assault response policies, their goal is obviously to protect victims and the general student population by holding the perpetrator accountable, while also protecting the rights of the accused. In a way, this can be seen as undermining the victims.
Sexual violence affects millions of people in America each year. Additionally, among college students, the risk of assault on campus is not low. According to a 2019 survey, there is a 13% rate of non-consensual sexual contact at colleges. For instance, states may define both first-degree rape and first-degree sexual assault as engaging in sexual intercourse by force with a victim incapable of consent or with a person under 14 years old. On average, sexual assault occurs every 68 seconds in America. Furthermore, men ages 18 to 24 who are college students are approximately 5 times more likely than non-students to be a victim of rape or sexual assault. As well, 21% of transgender, genderqueer, and gender non-conforming students have been sexually assaulted. Terms referring to sexual violence in relationships include intimate partner rape, intimate partner sexual violence, domestic violence, and marital rape. Sexual violence in relationships often transpires alongside emotional or physical abuse. Understanding common warning signs can help survivors identify unhealthy behavior and seek help. Sexual assault statistics reveal that victims who know their perpetrator struggle in their personal relationships. In fact, 84% of these victims struggle emotionally in future relationships, including non-intimate relationships. These relationships may include other forms of abuse, and survivors often do not report the crime because they feel the justice system cannot protect them from future attacks.
Women are 3 times more likely to get raped in college between the ages of 18 through 24. 13% of all college students were raped, and 24.6% of all female undergraduate students. Out of this, only 20% of students report the event. More than 50% of college sexual assaults occur in either August, September, October, or November. In another article, they said 1 in every 5 women are raped. Over 1,000 sexual assaults happen every year. Nearly 90% of campus assaults are committed by perpetrators that the survivor knows. Only 12% of college student survivors report the assault to police. Notably, only 7% of survivors are incapacitated during sexual assaults. Survivors cite a number of reasons for not reporting: not wanting others to know, lack of proof, fear of retaliation, or being unsure of whether what happened incites assault. Also, they did not know how to report, or fear of being treated poorly by the criminal system.
I think I was so intoxicated that it clicked in my head, and then I sort of forgot about that a couple minutes later when he asked me again.
You've been told that he's gay, so it's not sexually relevant. You're not worried about that. Throwing caution to the wind, you walk across the street with him.
Yeah.
This is an example of a college rape that happened in 2014. The victim was Abby Honnold. She was a 19-year-old student at the University of Minnesota. Her assaulter was Daniel York Drill Mellum, who was also a student at the University of Minnesota and a fraternity member of Sigma Phi Epsilon. After the attack, Honnold went to the hospital and Drill Mellum was arrested shortly after Honnold reported his assault on her. But he was released after his fraternity brothers secretly recorded a 5-minute phone call with Honnold. During the call, she stated twice that Drill Mellum had raped her and detailed her injuries. But when Drill Mellum's roommate asked her, "Did you guys have consensual sex?" he mumbled the words to make it sound like actual sex. Honnold responded yes, and a prosecutor declined the charges. On December 24, 2015, Drill Mellum was arrested again when Kevin Randolph, a veteran of University of Minnesota's police department, reviewed the recording and successfully reopened the case. Drill Mellum was tried for rape of Honnold and another victim he raped on Halloween in 2014. The case attracted ongoing coverage in the media after Honnold came forward and talked about how initially authorities did not press charges. On August 31, 2016, Drill Mellum was sentenced to 74 months in prison following his guilty plea on 2 counts of rape. However, he was released from prison on the 29th of September 2020. This account shows that many rape survivors cannot always trust in the police and court decisions. There was clear evidence that Honnold was raped, yet her attacker was able to avoid punishment for 2 years and was also able to get out of his sentence early. There is clearly still more work that needs to be done to help the victims of college rape in America.